Hello guys, welcome back to another Lumley trading video. In this one we're going to be going through today's trading plan. Now for today we were live so you can kind of see what we were going through as we went through it. But if you did not catch the stream, we'll go through everything else. So from 9:12, again this is market time, so Eastern Standard Time, 80 minutes before the open. So we have a range to fill on both queues, range provided, and SPY, range provided. It looks like we may open within the range. It makes the trade less clean. So again, whenever we're trading small accounts, so you know we're doing that small account challenge, we took no trades on that today because if we're opening within that range, it's not clean and we only want the A-star setups on that account. If this happens, we will watch the futures, watch for the gaps to fill on one side, then fill the range on the ETFs. Or not filled, is the range we will trade. So I'll show you the game plan essentially. So here is SPY's range, this range here. What happened? We opened within it. Again, whenever you open within the range, it really does get rid of the kind of the how clean it is to trade. So really, if you want the A-star setups, you don't trade on days like this, where we open up within the range on the queues, as well as same thing. So on both of these, we open within range. If you're trying to get clean setups, you do not trade that. Then what happened is obviously we came from the bottom of the range, spiked up, didn't quite fill it. We left about 10 cents, and also on the queues we left about 10 cents. So not a quite fill. So we still had a bit of a game plan to try and long in expectation that this will fill. As you can see today, this bit of the plan did not work out great. Obviously we didn't fill these completely. We kind of came shied them and then just dropped. Again, we know that in hindsight, but the game plan was to kind of try and long these and trade the upside. Now, why do we do that? So again, obviously we moved down. We hadn't completely filled the range. So again, we still had this bit to fill on the queue. So we expected price to kind of try and push up and trade this. Again, whenever it stays like this, we take less size because again, we opened in the range, so the probability of this working out is a lot less. We know that going into it, so you reduce the size. So that is it. But why were we getting so long biased? So not only did we have that algo range to the upside, if we go over to if we go over to the futures, essentially, we only really had upside targets. So what you can see is over on the futures, especially on the NQs, we were looking at this. There's a gap that was created pre-market. You can see it was created at 10 p.m. last night. That was filled just before the open and provided a lovely pop into the magnet of the day, which would be the 50 SMA. Now, again, this is basically the algo would have filled around this gap up here, but again, we didn't do that full and kind of final push. So again, we still expected it to kind of do that final push up to there. So what did we have? We had a gap created here. We got that as kind of a first entry on both the futures and the options. Then obviously we did another run down. And so then what I was really watching for is kind of you create this low, and then normally what you get is a stop hunt. So normally stops are going to be placed around this area here. You get an opening push. Again, we take some profits in that, move stops to break even. But in that case, you get the stop hunt. So a lot of the times you'll pump back up after that. Like we saw that exact same trend plan yesterday. We make your low, and then you kind of get your run up. In this case, it wasn't just a stop hunt. It was kind of just an overall downtrend. So yeah, that is kind of where we were looking to get longs into fill these gaps. Again, that was basically the trade plan for today. Again, today wasn't so clean because that is not what happened. Obviously, we just kind of came into this range, came back up, tested the UAP, just dropped. Again, the same thing over on the ES. ES was a lot cleaner today though. Because again, if we go over back to the algo range, go over to SPY, again you kind of see it keeps kind of popping in to that range. So on the options, they were doing like 20% pops kind of off the lows. If you can't get buying these wicks, and then they're coming into the range again, they were providing 20% pops. So they were still all right trades, just nothing kind of getting into the full range where we kind of try and take the maximum amounts of profits. So again, overall though, just kind of break down the options, made slight money today. The ES has definitely helped by letting us offset the QQQ losses, because QQQs we just took straight losses on. ES kind of offsetted that loss. However, in the futures we did take losses because again we didn't really spike into enough profits to have the trade plan work out. So again, basically today's the first day since we're doing the recaps. that the bias was a bit more wrong, and we did take a losing day. But again, really shouldn't have traded, and it's something I do need to work on. So I moved some money out of my trading, or out of the Think or Swims accounts, because I didn't follow rules. As I said, if you were in the stream, I said if you only want the clean setups, don't trade today. And I only want the clean setup. So why did I trade today? Again, bit of a break of psychology, a bit of a break of rules. We're opening the range, which I said no trades if you want clean setups, which is obviously what I'm looking for. So shouldn't have traded today, but still did, and obviously lost money because of that. So there, I learned my lesson. Now, just to go out what else we went through in the Discord. It was mainly QQQs related, so we'll pull that over and then go here. Again, just talked about how we did get on long. Obviously, we did end up losing money on those, as well as the Nasdaq futures. Again, what we lost money on. This was all going on live. And then again, SPY entries. Where can we get the nice entries? We'll actually go through these in a sec. But fibbing these ranges I give you can sometimes give you, or will provide on me, really good bounce opportunities. And then obviously we were kind of done with that. We gave that a while. So again, we kind of done 10 a.m. kind of stopped trading around 11. And then came back at 1 just to try and get some small scalps for the day, which again provided quite nice. We were mainly looking for the SPY because again, like we knew pre-market, SPY was the cleaner trade. So then we were looking at SPY, and that's why again we're not even circling any levels over on the Qs. We're only looking at the SPY levels. If we come into here again, that's resistance. We can expect a pullback into the green support. And again, if we do end up breaking this, that's going to be our next short target. So again, we're kind of posting these as they hit to, depending on both of those, and then kind of just start to drop. And then again, kind of came into a support on the Qs, which is when you know to take profits on the SPY. So again, the way you always trade these, and that's why I kind of posted them back to back, is this is going to hit entry later. So that's how we get the best entry. Wait for entry over on the SPY. And if this one dipped instantly, then we just miss out on the trade, not the end of the world. Then when we need to take profits, this one's going to hit a lot later than this one. So we know to take profits on the Qs because that could be a bounce for the market. So again, if we kind of go over these, what you'll be able to see is, again, if you're trading SPY, we take profits on that bounce there, which is kind of in this area here. In this case, they did hit at the same time, but you don't always get that. Sometimes you'll hit on the Qs and then shy on the SPY. And again, hit that to the penny. Obviously, we got our sync. That was changed to yellow because, again, that was hit there, so it's no longer a valid trade, so we can delete that. Again, then you can move it to the next anchor. In this case, just shot straight through it. So again, we can delete that. It's been touched. This VWAP's been touched. Now we can place it at the bottom. Have any of it been touched? No. So this will be either today or tomorrow's target. Same thing on this one. Again, does that touch? No, you just shy it here. So this is a valid level to look to trade tomorrow. We can also place another anchor VWAP just over here. That's actually been here, and we bounce off that. So what we can do is move it to this low, but again, this will probably get hit before the close. So the main watch for either today or tomorrow would be kind of these levels. But again, these move. It's why I don't really post these as much, because these will move every 5 minutes, because again, we're on a 5-minute time frame. So we tend to just like not really post too much about them. I show you how you use them so you can just set them up for yourself. But again, that is basically kind of everything that we're looking at on those. SPY also has an upside target, so don't be surprised if we hit that before the close. But again, not the best trading day to trade. Again, the bias was somewhat right, but again, we know if we have the algo range, we trade or open within it, we should not trade that trading day. So today should have been a non-trading day, would have saved me from the loss. But again, sometimes you break your rules, you get punished for it. But overall, that was the main trade plan. Again, Nvidia do have their earnings today, so keep an eye on that. That will be kind of our main watch. Again, provide quite a nice bounce off that anchor. And we can quickly anchor out this high, which I did not use actually today, and just kind of see how they react. Again, these are always going to be target. Now that one's been here. You can move the anchors. Again, that's going to be target. I think it just shied. Yeah, it just shied. So this can be targets for longs if you wanted to pre-earnings. But again, we are coming into earnings. That is a gamble. We will not be trading the earnings, but this should now hopefully clear out price action ready for Thursday's trading. So hope you enjoyed the recap. Again, not the cleanest of all days. Depending on what you traded, you may or may have not made money. And actually, one last thing. Sorry, I was about to wrapping it up, but I did want to go through this because again, I said this is how we use a fib. So if I provide a range, the way we use these is you fib out both directions. In this case, we only need to look to the downside because that's the direction that we moved. But if we haven't yet filled the algo range, we can use these for entries. So 161 again provided bounce into algo range. 261 provided move into algo range. Again, these are the moves that we should have called. And again, if you're watching these are ones where you should have made money on. Even here, yeah, not a massive move, but in the options again, that's going to be a relatively strong move in the options. So your stock should be at a minimum break even if you haven't taken any profits. And then really once you kind of get that retest and rejection of that 423, that's kind of how you know you're going to go parabolic for the downside today. So again, once we hit that, we kind of stop looking long bias. That's when our bias will change. Again, I never like to flip bias. If I've got a long bias for the day, I don't like to flip my bias. So that's when I will stop trading. Because again, then I don't want to flip my bias, which is what would have happened there. Again, same thing on the Qs. You fib out the range into algo. Again, get your bounce, not as clean, but again, you would have came into target because it did hit that. And again, kind of a bounce as well on the 423, and then after that, it's kind of dead. And again, then you get your retest, that can shoot it down. Didn't even see that because I didn't trade it, but again, you get your retests, and it shoots it down even further. So that can actually as well be a trading opportunity, especially if you're on profits for the day. If you'd be making money on that long, run a small amount of profits to get short here again. Relatively tightish stop, could probably be at that high to target the downside. Again, these are just players start thinking for future plays. But overall, red day recap for me, even though the trading plans would have worked if it traded them a bit smarter. But again, overall, shouldn't have taken any trades today. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you next one, and that's it. Peace.